So today I thought it would be a fun idea to share with you the tips and things that I do to try and save money. Nowadays, with energy prices going up and fuel costs skyrocketing, we just don't know what's happening with this world, and saving money is definitely something that we should all try and do. I'm definitely not a wealthy person. I don't have loads of money to waste, so I thought it would be nice to just tell you the things I do to try and just save the pennies. And sometimes it is just pennies, but it all adds up, and if you do it for a whole year, you could be saving a lot of money. So in no particular order, here's the first tip. Shop in the reduced aisle in the supermarket. So it could either be an aisle, or it's usually like a section in the fridge that they have reduced items. Normally the later in the day, the more it gets reduced. So usually starting around, some supermarkets start around 3, 4, they'll start reducing items, but the later on in the day, so towards maybe 5 or 6 or even 7, they reduce it more to try and get rid of everything that goes out of date that day. So you can find very cheap food if you shop in the reduced aisle or reduced section in the supermarket. And when I do shop for reduced items, I look for the freezable logo. So anything that I can keep in the freezer for a later date, then I'll definitely be more open to buy it, because it means I don't have to eat everything that day when things are going out of date. So having the option to store it in the freezer is perfect. The other thing I like to do to save money is to buy own brand food and products rather than kind of branded stuff at supermarkets. So what I mean is, instead of Heinz ketchup, I would buy own brand, like, or non-branded ketchup from like Sainsbury's, or any kind of items that I see would have its own brand. I would buy the own brand version, which is usually half or even a third of the price. And to me, it just doesn't make sense not to go for the cheaper option. The other thing I do at the supermarket is I look at the actual label of the product. So usually you have the biggest item on there would be the price. So for example, a block of cheese would be something like £2.40. So rather than just looking at the biggest number on the label, which is the price, look at how much something costs per kilo or per unit. Sometimes buying the bigger version would be cheaper than buying the smaller versions like multiple times. But occasionally when you see something that has a yellow sticker or a red sticker and then it says, oh, on offer, or it's like trying to catch your attention, but when you actually look at the price per kilo, it turns out that the so-called offer version works out to be more expensive. So do look at the per unit and per kilo price. That way you kind of get more for your money. The other thing that I don't like spending money on is having your nails done. I've never had a manicure or a pedicure. I just cut my own nails and then paint them if I want to, and then if I want to kind of refresh a colour or the nail colour is chipping, then I'll just remove them and then repaint them. To me, I don't see the benefit of me having it done. I would imagine most people would have a fridge at home and also a freezer. Make use of the freezer. I think the freezer is my best friend to try and save money and stop food wastage. So sometimes I would batch cook something more than for that one meal. So I would cook something that lasts about 3 days or even a week. But sometimes I don't always want to eat the same food every day. So if I cook for 3 days worth of food, I wouldn't necessarily want to eat that 3 days in a row. So what I normally do is I'll put it in the freezer and then defrost it as and when I want to eat it, so I can have different meals every day or even every week that are already prepared and already made, so I don't have to think about it. And it really just helps food wastage, so you are not just throwing food away because it's gone moldy or it's gone out of date or it's just been something's been open for too long. That's just a great way to save money and time if you're already preparing food in advance. Another way I save money is I've cancelled my gym membership. I love going to the gym, I still do. And to me, I'm kind of in a different mindset when I go to the gym, and I'm focused and I just feel like I'm here now, I paid for it, I have to just get on with my workout and work really hard and make it worth it. So to me, it was a difficult decision to actually cancel my gym membership. Instead, I bought myself some home equipment like dumbbells and kind of mats that I put on the floor where I can just do a workout at home, and it actually worked out a lot better because I prefer working out in the morning, so I would go before work. And then there'll be some days, obviously, I want to have a lie-in instead. So by the time I come home from work, I can't get myself to actually do a workout or go to the gym. So having equipment at home I can do as and when I want actually really helps. And I've actually ended up exercising a bit more than I would if I were to just go to the gym. So that actually worked out very well, and it's saving a lot of money each month. Another thing that I don't do to save money is I don't buy water. I used to go out and not bring water with me, so when I'm thirsty, I'll buy a bottle of water. What I do now is I bring my own water when I go out, even if it's a small bottle or a small amount, just enough to keep you going until you get to a point where you can have water or get some more water. I have a water filter as well to kind of make tap water a little bit nicer to drink, which, thinking back to it, is quite a crazy idea, and how much money I've spent buying water that you can get at home. The other thing I do to save money is I use less toiletry. I don't mean in cutting out shampoo or cutting out shower gel or things like that. I mean, I used to feel like, especially with shampoo, because I have long hair, that I would have to use a lot of it to kind of clean my hair. But over the years, I found that cutting them in half, it works the same way and it still cleans my hair. And I think now I've gone to a bit more extreme. I cut that in half as well. So from what I used to use, it's now probably about a quarter the amount. So my shampoo lasts so much longer and it still cleans my hair. You know, when you get like toothpaste adverts, they kind of squirt toothpaste onto your toothbrush, like a whole big line across your whole toothbrush. You don't need that much because you just have so much foam in your mouth when you try to brush your teeth. All you really need is a little pea size, or even less. It's more than enough to clean your teeth, and it will also last you so much longer than squirting way too much toothpaste. Another thing I do to save money is I usually make sure I have a full load of washing before I turn on the washing machine. I usually turn down the temperature as well, so I wash at 30 degrees Celsius, and I usually pick kind of the most economical cycle, or the one that takes the least time. Sometimes clothes need to be washed a bit longer to be clean, I find, because on my washing machine I have a setting that has, you can wash it for 15 minutes or an hour. Sometimes I have tried the 15-minute cycle, but the clothes don't always come out as clean, so I'd rather kind of wash it for a little bit longer. But I make sure that it's a full load, and I never just wash half load, because I feel like it uses so much power and just water to go through the same cycle. So you could just be washing a lot more stuff. Which brings me on to another point about saving money. I don't have a tumble dryer. I don't think I'll ever buy a tumble dryer because it uses so much electricity just to dry your clothes. Maybe someone can explain to me the use of a tumble dryer. And then clothes that are dried in the sun and the warmth smells nicer. I don't know if you've ever tried it. Fresh, clean smell of sun-dried laundry. The other way to save money and also save the environment is to have showers and not have baths. I know some people love having baths and it's a way to relax. I'm not saying cut them out completely, but if you can, have showers. Save you a lot of water and a lot of heating up the hot water to run a bath. Still treat yourself to a bath once in a while. I definitely agree you should treat yourself, and if that's something you enjoy as well, go for it. I personally only have showers. To me, I don't have time for a bath, so for me it's a waste of time, waste of water and power to heat, and I eventually just get really hot in a bath. So to me, I don't see the benefit in having baths, so I have showers, and that's one way I try to save money. The next thing is try to buy clothes that you can wear on multiple occasions. So for me, I like kind of plain clothes that are like one color and neutral color, so I can mix and match and wear them on different occasions. So a lot of the clothes that I wear at work, I would also wear like on the weekends when I'm not at work. And then sometimes like trousers or my skinny jeans, I'll wear them to work, but then if I'm going on a night out, I would also wear those, and then I might match them with different shoes. I personally don't like spending money on clothes at all. I'll buy the cheapest version of everything. I'll buy the most boring color. I would pick colors like this, which is navy, very dark colors, black, plain, neutral, anything that kind of won't clash. Like most of my jeans and trousers are black because it just goes with everything. So I feel like not having a massive wardrobe with loads of colourful options and then items you can only wear kind of once, and then when you wear it again, then someone might think, oh, she's worn that last week. Even though we're talking about saving money, to me, I feel like it's worth spending money on something that is good quality. For example, if you buy screwdrivers, and you go for the cheapest option you find on Amazon or eBay, and they cost you next to nothing. Like a screwdriver you might get for £1 and you think that's a bargain, but then you use it twice and then the handle falls off, or it bends, or something breaks, and then you have to replace it. So then that way you're actually spending more money over time on something that is not very well made. I want to save money, but I also want to spend on things that I know are going to last me a very long time. One, obviously, like I said, it saves money, and two, I don't want to have to then go buy it and find it. Every now and again I would have a clear out of old clothes and things I don't wear anymore, or things that are just out of style in a way. So what I do to save money is, rather than kind of buying new clothes all the time, I'll try to change them in some ways. So what I'll do is old pair of long jeans, I would cut them short and then make them into shorts, like denim shorts. And the other thing is also t-shirts, a lot of like baggy t-shirts, or t-shirts that just don't look very flattering on me. Some of them I end up just cutting them in a way so they are kind of a different style, or they're sleeveless, or just something that I would actually wear more than just that unflattering t-shirt. Another way you can save money, especially with fuel prices going up, I mean, it's slowly coming down, but it's still quite expensive at the moment. So what I do is, if there's somewhere I can walk, I can physically get to without getting into my car, then I would walk, even if somewhere that might take an hour. I mean, I understand not everyone has kind of the mobility to do that, but for me, and if you can, I'd suggest walking, like walking to the shops to just pick up something, or walk to the post office, or walk to the post box. And a lot of people nowadays just drive, even if it's just literally 2 minutes down the road. I personally prefer to just walk if I can, and it also helps keep you fit and healthy, so why not? It's a win-win situation. The other thing I do is anything that I don't use or don't need, I generally sell. That way I can make some money back. And also, if I go through the whole process of selling something that's been sat there for years, and I've been looking at it time and time again thinking, I need to sell this, I need to get rid of this, then when I come to see it again in the future, I would really think about whether I actually need that item again in my life. So when I see that item again and think about it, I would really, really consider whether I actually need it. Another thing I do to save money is I don't go to the hairdressers. I cut my own hair. Ever since we were young, my mum would always cut our hair. And growing up, I kind of just thought that was the normal thing to do, until you meet other people in your life and then they go to the hairdressers once a month. I've only been to the hairdressers, I would say, a handful of times in my life, and I generally just cut my own hair, especially because I have long hair, so I feel like not a lot can go wrong. I think also because I'm lucky, my hair's quite thick, so I don't feel like it can go badly wrong. I mean, there's one time where I was using thinning scissors, so I went underneath because I wanted to thin my hair a little bit, and I picked up the wrong pair of scissors. I basically picked up a normal pair of scissors rather than the thinning scissors, and I ended up chopping a whole chunk of my hair out underneath. But because my hair's so thick, I can hide it, so, and that's not put me off cutting my own hair. It just saves so much money. And the times that I have been to a hairdresser's and paid someone to do it, I've just been very disappointed. And I come out the hairdressers, £40 lighter or whatever, and I look exactly the same. Which brings me to another point about hair and saving money. Because my hair's so thick and so long, it takes quite a long time to wash, which means I use a lot more water and heating of the water. And then it also takes a long time to dry, so I use a lot of electricity, which is not ideal. So the other thing you could do to save money is cut your hair shorter. For me personally, I like long hair, so cutting my hair short is not really ideal. I do cut it shorter sometimes. I do have it kind of a bit trimmed, especially in the winter, because when I wear big scarves, my long hair just gets in the way and it all gets tangled. So I do cut it shorter sometimes. The other thing that you could do, and I also do, is, like I mentioned earlier about the thinning scissors. So I go underneath certain layers and then I just go through it with thinning scissors and cut out kind of most of the thickness of the hair. So that way it doesn't take as long to wash and definitely doesn't take as long to dry. Another tip that could save you money is keeping your home tidy and have everything in a place where you know where it belongs to. So for example, if you have tools, have them in a dedicated area or a drawer. If you have like loose bits and items or plates, cutlery, or anything that kind of can be grouped together, just know where everything is. Because sometimes when you look for that one specific thing that you know you had, and then if you can't find it, you end up buying another one, because it's just so easy to order one off Amazon, and then you end up spending more money on something that you already have, you just can't find. And then 2 weeks later, that item would appear, and then now you've got 2 of them. So that's just a waste of money. Another thing I make sure I do is I turn off lights that I'm not using. So if I leave a room, I turn the lights off, and sometimes even when I can still see, I don't even turn the lights on. So if I go to the bathroom or something, or if I just need to pick something up from a room very quickly, and I can kind of see and I know where everything is, I don't even turn the lights on. I mean, it sounds a bit obvious, like turning lights off to save electricity and stuff like that, but sometimes people just leave lights on in the whole house and just sit and watch TV in one room, and then the whole house is lit up or the whole kitchen's lit up and they're just in a different room. To me, that just doesn't make sense. Another thing you can do to not waste money is don't impulse buy. It's hard, it's easier said than done, obviously. Sometimes you see something that's pretty, or something you see like an advert on Instagram and you think, I need this, it looks really good, or just something like very pretty, or you just, for some reason, you convince yourself that I need this in my life. Don't impulse buy. Think about if you actually need something. As much as you want it, do you actually need it? You're going to find a use for it, and are you just going to end up selling it in 2 weeks' time? The other thing is, if you know you need something, don't buy it straight away, just wait. What I mean by that is sometimes people give away stuff for free, especially if it's kind of household items, like things that you can find in the kitchen, or generally things that are not worth selling because they don't cost a lot. They put more time into listing something for sale, but actually what they get back could be pennies, and it's just not worth selling. So sometimes it's worth to just check Facebook Marketplace. And also there's an app that I sometimes go on to look, it's called Trash Nothing. So it's people just listing things that they just want to give out for free. And also people leave out stuff on their driveways to give away for free. And also you have friends and family that might have a clear out, or they might have stuff in their house that you know they don't use or they don't need, or they think about get rid of, and they might mention it and you think, oh, actually this has been on my list of things that I've wanted. Just hold off for a few days and a week or two or something like that. I mean, if by then you still want it and no one's giving it away for free or selling it for cheap, then go buy it. And then by then you hopefully know that it was definitely the right decision to spend that money on that thing that you wanted. Another thing that could potentially save you loads of money is not buying lunch. I make my own lunch, and I have always done. I mean, obviously occasionally you'll go out and buy yourself a sandwich, or you haven't got time, or you didn't have certain foods in your house because you haven't been shopping, then you haven't got lunch, so you have to go out and buy lunch. But it costs so much money, and usually if you go to buy a sandwich that you could easily make at home, that's a lot cheaper. I would definitely recommend making your own lunch. Also, the other thing I do is I would cook more sometimes the night before, and I'll keep some in a tub, and then I'll just take that to work for lunch. And also the other thing I said about freezer being your best friend, I would batch make loads of sandwiches and put them in the freezer, and then just get them out the morning I go to work. By the time it gets to lunchtime, it'll be defrosted, ready to eat. Don't keep something for the sake of keeping. And what I mean by that is if you order something online that you haven't managed to try on or anything in the shop. So for example, you want a new coat and you order it online because it's easier and it's cheaper, or the high street store has been closed down, so the only option is to buy online. If you buy a coat and you try it on and you don't love it, or the size is wrong, or the color is a bit different to what you expected it, if you just not sure if you really like it enough, return it. Don't be lazy. Don't just keep it for the sake of keeping. You'll be selling that coat in brand new condition and you would have lost money by then because it might have gone out of style, and just generally reselling something despite it being new, you'd end up losing money. If something you bought recently, or you know it hasn't been that long and ends up breaking or not working, check the warranty. So rather than just going out and buying a new one, replacing what's broken, check the warranty and just make sure it's still covered, because they could fix something for free, and sometimes companies would just send out a new one completely free of charge because it's more hassle to repair or arrange for it to be collected than repaired and then being redelivered or something like that. So sometimes it's just cheaper to give you a brand new one. And if you're feeling generous, you might have taken up extra cover, so you might have paid a little bit extra to have a longer cover, and then that way you could get it fixed. And remember that you paid extra for that extra cover as well, and not forget about it and then end up buying a new one when you could just have something repaired. Hope you enjoyed the tips I've shared with you about how I try to save money. I'm definitely open to the idea of frugal living and just not waste money where I don't need to. Let me know if you do any of the things that I've mentioned in this video, and also if there are any other tips you would recommend, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm always trying to find ways to save money and just have more money in my pocket rather than wasting it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.